So good afternoon and happy Thursday, everybody. My name is Rob Romanowski. I'm the Director of Sales Operations with 3HTI. And today our webinar is going to focus on Windchill document management. So hopefully this will be informative to those of you who currently have Windchill. And if you don't have Windchill, you'll see some of the capabilities of what is absolutely the gold standard in product lifecycle management software. Some of the things that Windchill does that most other PLM systems don't do is that it manages any CAD system. And I think there's one other system that does manage other CAD systems, and that's Innovia and the 3D Experience. And I can tell you that that is still very clunky. So Windchill is a very sophisticated solution, or it can be as sophisticated as you need it to be without being too complicated to use, because we do a great job of helping to simplify the use of Windchill for our customers. So without further ado, I'm going to have Zach Carson, who is a solutions consultant and applications engineer with PTC. Zach is going to lead us today with the presentation and a brief demo. So Zach, thank you for helping us, and take it away.
All right, thanks for the intro, Rob. So like Rob said, today we're going to be covering Windchill document management at a pretty high level. We'll start off going through a presentation that's going to explain who needs Windchill doc management, how it's going to help you, and then we'll get into a demonstration where you can actually, we'll jump into Windchill and you can see it in action. Starting off with some of the challenges that we see a lot of companies face when it comes to document management. A lot of times there's little to no version control. Companies will be using centralized drives like a OneDrive, or maybe even literally a filing cabinet where they're housing all of their documentation. When doing that, either manually or with systems that aren't designed for that purpose, you end up using more informal methods to manage the documents. Things like naming schemes, numbering conventions. A lot of times we see version control simply done in those names or in a separate Excel file. There's not much security doing it these ways. There's no check-in and check-out system. People are overwriting each other's work all the time, and there's just a lot of room for potential errors. There's also pretty inefficient document tracking. So you're not understanding what exactly the document is going through after each change, after each iteration. You don't know what's changed, you don't know when it changed, you don't know who changed it, and so forth. And on top of that, let's say that companies do have systems. You do have systems to put the information in and manage it. What happens a lot of times is those systems are all disparate, they're all separated, and they kind of operate on their own. When the data gets spread out between different tools, it becomes very difficult and very tedious to manage, and it's a lot of work to track down documentation to see how it's related to different products, or to see when a change happens, grab everything that's going to be affected by that change without having a single system to manage all of this, to control the changes, to control the versions, to control the access. It's really, really hard to mitigate these problems. PTC's solution to these challenges is Windchill. Specifically, the doc management capabilities that enable you to leverage all of the data, all of the documentation you have in your different tools, in your different software, and put it into one central, secure database. Now, what are you actually getting with Windchill doc management, and why is it going to help you? First, you're getting desktop integration through your Windows File Manager. The great thing about this is something that a lot of companies are already using. Every single one of us here has used the file manager at one point or another, whether it's just to store our Word documents at home, to put random stuff that we have in there and just organize it. Everyone knows how to use this. What Windchill does is it actually integrates with that so that you can access and move documentation that's managed in Windchill just through your Windows File Explorer. It's great for people who have never worked in a PLM system, just an ease of use tool to make it easier to work with the documents you have. So instead of having to actually go into Windchill to manage everything, you can just do it right in your Windows File Explorer. All of the same permissions, versions, controls, It all applies regardless of the interface that you're actually going in, whether it's through Windows File Explorer or through Windchill itself. You can also embed PLM menus within the different tools that you're using. Microsoft Office is a huge one. Everyone uses Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel. We integrate with those tools. What'll actually happen if you look at this picture is you will literally get a Windchill tab inside of, say, Microsoft Word in this case. For you, that means you have the data management capabilities of Windchill right from inside Microsoft Word. Whenever you open a document that's managed in Windchill and Word, you can make changes to it and immediately check it back in to update those changes on the Windchill side. You can export it from here. You can do comparisons from here, and you don't ever have to leave those Microsoft Office tools that you're comfortable working in. As you make changes to documents, you want to keep track of those changes, and this is a problem when you don't have a system to manage versions and security. If you ever need to reference the previous version, let's say if you were to get audited with a tool like Windchill, or with Windchill specifically, you will have a full document history to show how your document has changed over time and to see exactly what those changes are. And it will keep a history if you've gone through whatever number of iterations or versions. You could have 100 different iterations of this document. Windchill will automatically keep a record of all 100 of those, so you never have to worry about losing them. And you can always go into Windchill, do a comparison, and see how those two different versions stack up to each other. So that gives you a little bit of an introduction to the general challenges the industry faces around doc management, as well as some of the capabilities that you'll get in managing documents through Windchill. At this point, we're going to go ahead and jump into the demonstration, and that way you'll get to see what this looks like whenever we're actually working inside of Windchill. All right, so right now we're just accessing Windchill. You'll just through our web browser, that's how you'll open it up. You can just pick your favorite one, Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer. It doesn't really matter at all. Right now, what we're going to do is we're just going to go into a product and look at our folders. This is where our documentation really resides within this product. And what you'll see is on the left, the structure of these folders is set up just like it is in your Windows File Explorer. That's intentional. We did it because that's a format you know how to work with. It's easy to use. You have that parent-child type of relationship with the folders and the documents. So it's going to be something that you're familiar with. Whenever you're getting into a new system, you want it to be familiar. You don't want to have to learn everything from scratch. So that's what Windchill does. It gives you a system that's easy to work in and to manage things in more of an intuitive fashion. On the right-hand side, you can see within this folder the different documents that we actually have. And there's lots of different types. Right here I have Microsoft Word. I have PDF. You can have URLs, all kinds of different documents here, even engineering calculations that we have completed in MathCAD, right? So it's all kinds of different documents you can manage. You're not really limited to one or two different kinds. The types of documents that your company has, we're going to be able to manage them. Right from here, what I want to do is just show you what it looks like to create a new document. Whenever we create a new document, what happens, and this is whenever you create anything in Windchill, is there is essentially templates that kind of make sure that you're entering the right information. Whenever I go to create a new document here, the template that I select for a document has certain information I have to enter in before I can actually create this in Windchill. This is configurable. If you want to set it up so that maybe you want to have a description required, it's a simple check this box, and you're going to require anyone who enters a new document to put in that information. In this case, if you look in the attributes column, you can see the certain things that are required, and that's denoted by the asterisk beside or to the left of each one of those options. So name is required, location is required, and lifecycle template, which is essentially your name and your version, that's required as well. that's going to be automatically generated, as you can see there. So you can specify a certain naming convention or numbering scheme that you want. A.1 is just out of the box. If you create something new in Windchill, it's going to automatically be given the version A.1. You can pick and choose if you don't want that. What you do want, you can specify your own. That's going to be totally up to you. Now that we've entered that in, click Next. And this is where I'll just go to add in my attachment. If it's a file that I have on my computer, I can add it in. If it's maybe a URL link, we'll do that in this case. I'll just put in here a link to the PTC homepage. And we'll finish that up. The nice part about doing it with the template, like what we just did in that graphical user interface, is whenever you're creating any object in Windchill, documents, what we're talking about today, that basically just guides you through the whole process. You know what information you have to enter in. It's going to make sure you don't forget anything. That's a problem that a lot of companies get into. People will go into systems and upload a document there's basically no information. It has a very generic name. There's no criteria around it. So it's really hard to search for. It's really hard to, if you need to find a document, actually know that that's the right one. This kind of prevents that from happening. From here, within this folder, I can open up any of these as well. If I wanted to take a look at a specific document, this is kind of what that would look like. So each object in Windchill has its own page, more or less. And that home page for that object has different options. And we'll go through some of these as we go through the demo today. You can see them at the top. Details is your general attributes. We have the structure where you can actually see the document structure in terms of kind of that parent-child relationship. If this is related to other documents, you would be able to see it there. And then this content one is where we can actually see the individual document and open that up. Also have ones for changes, for history. In this case, if you look at the top of the screen, right now we're looking at A.2. That's the version for this document. Like I said before, Windchill keeps a history forever. No matter how many iterations or changes or versions we go through with this document, it's going to keep a record of all of them. So you're never going to lose that. That's always going to be viewable here in this history tab. You can see we're on A.2. If I just wanted to look at A.1, I could click on the eye icon. It would open up that A.1 version, and I could access it from there. If I click on the little scale there beside the PDF icon, that's how I could do my comparison, and it's going to show me side by side what's changed from A.1 to A.2, and Windchill's identifying those changes for you. So it's really doing all the work. Moving into the structure tab, as I said, this is where we'll see what this particular document is related to. Here, the instruction manual is actually our top level document. So within this kind of subbed to this instruction manual, I have a requirement for change document, and that's what we're actually going to be working with here. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And then what you'll see is then if I go to the related objects tab, let's just say I opened this document originally. This would show me what document this particular document actually rolls up to. We were just looking at the instruction manual, so we know this requirement for change is sub to that. But if we were to open up this lower level document, we would be able to see here, okay, well, this rolls up to that instruction manual. In this collaboration tab, this is really where you're going to go to add to collaborate with each other. Whenever you don't have a system, whenever you don't have a Windchill in place, collaborating is not easy. We see it all the time. I talk to people every single day that their company struggles with collaboration. They don't have a tool to share the same files on. They don't all work from the same file. So you have multiple copies. You don't know which one's the right one. Maybe you have a shared copy, but since there's no check-in and check-out system, what happens a lot of times is, let's say Rob and we both access the same file. I make changes to it. If Rob's making changes at the same time and I save it first, as soon as he saves his changes overwrite mine. And all the work that I did, all the time that I spent making the changes is completely thrown out the window. people deal with that challenge all the time. Windchill fixes it through a check-in and check-out process. And in a tab like this, what we can do is we can communicate when changes are actually happening. So if let's say here, I want to create a new action item. I want someone to go into this requirement for change and make some sort of change. For today, we'll just do something pretty generic here. We'll say I want a user to update the document. I want it due on whatever date. Give it a medium priority. The idea is just to lay all of the criteria out here. You can, just like before, you can require whatever information you want here. Throw an estimated start and finish. And the nice part about Windchill is we have workflows. As soon as I create this action item, the person who is actually going to be making this change is automatically going to be assigned the task to update that document. If Rob's that person, what that means for Rob is as soon as he logs into Windchill, it's going to be in his tasks category. It's the first thing he's going to see. So he knows when he logs in the morning, hey, that's the first thing I have to get done today. I have to update this requirements for change. Now, if we open it up, what you'll see here is immediately, whenever I go to open this file, it's two things are going to happen. It's going to launch in Microsoft Word. We're integrated, so it's automatically going to open it up in Microsoft Word. And the other thing it does is it tells me, do you want to check out this document from Windchill? I'm going to make changes, so I'm going to say yes here. If I did not want to make changes, maybe I just wanted to view this for now, I would hit no. The check-in and check-out system, it gives you a layer of security. It makes sure no one's going to overwrite each other's work, that only one person is making changes on that shared file at the same time or at a time. So we don't get into last save win situations like the one that I outlined with me and Rob a minute ago. I'm going to go ahead and check it out. And now we'll just do a pretty simple change. I'm just going to change the name of this. And now I'll go ahead and save it off. What you'll notice here is in Microsoft Word, we have that Windchill tab. This is what you get through the Microsoft Office integration. This tool or this capability gives me the ability to have the execute on the key data management capabilities that Windchill has right from within Microsoft Word. Once I've made the change, right from here, I can go ahead and check this back in, and you'll see it's no different than if I did this directly in Windchill. It launches this Windchill screen. It guides me through entering information that your organization requires to be entered in. So if I have to add a comment, that's always a good thing to do, then I can do that. I can even, let's say, send the local file to the recycle bin, so I'm not cluttering up the space at all. Now, as you go back into Windchill, notice what happens here. I checked that out and made a change. I'm still looking at the same object in Windchill, but if I refresh the page, if you look in the top left-hand side, you'll see it says go to latest. Because we're still looking at that original version that we were looking at before we made that change, which is A.1, Windchill knows this is now no longer the latest and greatest version of this. On the top upper left, it says go to latest, and that's actually a hyperlink that's going to take me to the new version of this document. That is huge because I see all the time, I experienced it, I worked in manufacturing, people were constantly using out-of-date materials, whether it's CAD models, whether it's drawings, whether it's documents. Windchill makes sure that everyone that's working in Windchill is accessing the correct information, the most up-to-date material, whether it's a document, whether it's a part, whether it's a drawing, no matter what it is, they're going to be looking at the right copy. So you're going to avoid them, say, working with the wrong version, wasting their time, having to redo all their work on the right version. Maybe they're spending time doing work that's already been done. Maybe they follow an assembly process and they actually use old instructions. They completely build it wrong. So then they have to waste time undoing the build, redoing it the correct way. It's so much waste time. It's a very expensive problem to have. And if you don't have Windchill, it's a problem that a lot of companies deal with. Now what I want to show you is what the desktop integration looks like with Windchill. We're going to basically do the same process that we just did, but all from the desktop. All you would do here is just open up your Windows File Explorer. And from here, I can access the same information as if I did it in Windchill. We opened up products before and we went into that Synergy product. You can see all of these are the same. All the folders are the same. I'll go into documents. All the documents are the same. It's the same security. So if you don't have access to look at something in Windchill, you're not going to have access to see it from here. If I wanted to open up the requirement for change, which is the document we were just looking at, what you see is everything here is also the same. And if I want to see more information, then it's actually going to just open it up in Windchill and take me to the location that I need to be. All right. Now at this point, we have our document in Windchill. We made changes. It's now we're working with A.2. And from here, what we can also do is add in a part that this document is going to describe. That's a huge piece of the puzzle here. Windchill is a tool that's going to enable you to define relationships. To say, if I have a CAD part, well, this document is describing that CAD part, or that part can be anything. Maybe it's a mechanical part in this case, but it's defining relationships and associations that is extremely difficult to do in other tools. Something like a File Explorer or a OneDrive or a Google Drive, a Dropbox. That's the kind of stuff we see a lot of people without PLM systems use, which is maybe okay in the very beginning, but eventually everyone outgrows that. And defining the relationships as you get more documents and get more parts and more files to manage, those relationships are probably the hardest thing to manage. To say whenever something changes, what's going to be affected by it. Whenever we define the relationships here in Windchill, Windchill just automatically tells you what's affected by a change. That's why we're saying in this case, this document describes that car body. Because now if someone goes to change the car body, I'm going to know, all right, well, hey, I need to check that requirement for change and see if I need to update that as well. So now that we've added all of that here, what I want to show you is within Windchill, if you look here in this part structure, this is essentially your BOM. Now we can expand this, and the nice thing about Windchill is this BOM is more than just your standard bill of materials. This is a place where we can really overload it and put all of our information in this part structure. We can put all of our CAD, all of our documents, everything. For the user, what's so nice about that is this now becomes a one-stop shop to view all of those relationships, to view all the data, all the information, regardless of where it's from. If it's for maybe a CAD part, it's a Creo file, I can see it in this part structure. If it's a SolidWorks file, I can see it in this part structure. If it's a document, I can see it in this part structure. So it shows me all of those relationships in the context of the overall assembly. All right. For the last part here, let's say that I want to come into this desktop integration in my folders that are connected to the Windchill server, and I want to search from here. I want to find a document, but I don't want to go into Windchill to do it. As I search, it's doing the same thing as it would in Windchill. So I can see when I type in instruction, here's the documents that match that search. I could open them up from here. I could make changes to them. I can even upload documents from here as well. Maybe I have something on my desktop. In this case, it's a Microsoft Word document. I want to upload it to Windchill. All I have to do is drag and drop it. And like we've seen a few times today, just like we saw whenever we uploaded something in Windchill, It launches that graphical user interface and it guides me through the process and makes sure that I enter all of the necessary information. I follow all of the processes that we have, and it is now controlled through secure permission role-based access. It's also been automatically assigned a version here, as you can see, we're A.1. And then if I go to back into the Windchill side of things, what you'll be able to see here is if I were to take a look at this brake disc, let's say, right from this thumbnail navigator, this is a search tool that we have. You can even from here, from a part level, just in a quick search, also access documents. You don't actually have to go to the folders. If I wanted to open up something for this brake disc, you can see in the upper right hand of this little pop-up window, I could open up the load calculations document right from there, or I could go to this actual brake disc and look at the documents from there. So the idea with this is there's different ways to find the information, various ways for you to search for it. We want to make it easy to find. Windchill is a tool that makes searching easy. That's something that a lot of tools do not do, but it is a enormously valuable piece of this. Have an easy time finding it, an easy time searching for it. We want people to get to the information they need fast. And that's really the idea with Windchill. So now that you've gone through and actually gotten to see some of the Windchill capabilities when it comes to doc management, I just have a few more points I'd like to share that summarize what this tool is going to do for you. The first of which is it allows you to standardize on one PLM platform that houses all of your data for all of your products. You're not going to be using multiple tools anymore, like a OneDrive, and then a File Explorer, and then maybe a Dropbox, that are all disparate systems to store some information here, some information there. It's all in one platform, so you can efficiently organize and access all of that documentation in Windchill alone. For you, that's going to reduce your scrap and rework with our check-in and check-out process, since you're no longer having people overwrite each other's work and spend a lot of money and time actually redoing those changes or making sure that everything now jives because I had two people working on the same thing. We're completely avoiding that scenario and eliminating those last save win situations. Lastly, in your organization, tons of people need to access this information, not just the ones inputting it. Windchill gives access to all authorized people who need this information to help them find it fast and make the most informed decisions on your products. So that's all that I had planned to go through for this demonstration of Windchill document management.
Excellent. Thank you, Zach.
Anytime, Rob.
Appreciate it. Very detailed, very informative overview and presentation. So thank you as always. We're going to upload the recording onto our YouTube page, and anyone who registered for the webinar will receive that in their emails either later today or tomorrow. If you have any questions or need any more detail on Windchill, or if you want a personalized demonstration, you can email us at info@3hti.com, or you can just reply to the email invitation that you received for this webinar. Those emails come directly to me. So once again, thank you, Zach, for your time and taking us through this presentation and demo today. And I want to thank our audience for being on. Thanks again and have a great day. Take care.